No thermostat. What's going on, everyone? Happy 3rd of July. Today is small town Indiana. At least for us, it's our fireworks. It's kind of a celebration today, big get together, cookout and stuff out back. And as you've seen previously, we started tearing down our engine. Now we just fired up the drift car because my cousin is stranded on the side of the road with low coolant, overheating. So we're gonna go hook him up. We're gonna stretch the legs on the drift car. We don't drive it much, and awesomely enough, the battery stayed charged. Sufficiently up to temp. Just made it back. I think we're just gonna kick it with the family for the rest of the night. If not, we'll just tear her down and start cleaning up a couple things on the motor. Just cleaning grime and all the nastiness. So it's the next day, and I think we kind of had another idea last night. After we got a shipping update for all of our parts for our engine here, it's actually going to be another 3 days before all this gets here, and that still does not include our cam seals. That's really going to push us back a lot farther than we wanted to be with this. So I had an idea. Why not pull the motor we already have time sealed, everything that's done, new timing kit, brand new timing kit, in my slick top. We just put the drivetrain in it a couple videos back, so that way we could drive it around and move it around the yard. I think I have decided it's going to be better off to actually go in the silver car, so we can just turn and burn it, and we can save us some time. And then once we have a moment, we can start to tear this down, reseal it when our parts come in, and can drop it back in our slick top. I want to keep this trans, and the trans and the slick top is one I'd be willing to sell. So I'm going to kind of switch them out, get the right combo, and send them on their way. It's not that there's anything wrong with it, it's just I really like this trans, and I suspect it to be a pretty low mileage one. First step here is to switch out our cars that we have parked front and center. So it's time for us to go get the slick top. So now we got the slick top up here. We're pretty much just going to switch the drivetrains out. This one, the reason being mainly, this one I don't have a new tensioner for, and I don't really have the money just to spend on one right now. I do have a good tensioner that's lower miles, but I personally don't care if I'm selling a car and I'm advertising the maintenance is done. I want it to all be done, and the same with everything else, so I'm not shorting someone else out. I know some people like to do that. It's happened to me, but I would rather not be that guy. I'm currently really struggling with the heat out here. We've even brought a fan. I need to get some kind of window system built up so we can get some ventilation in here, because I really can't even breathe. Can't drink enough water either. So I don't know, I may have to go in to cool off for a little bit. Happy 4th of July, you guys. It is the 4th today, and tonight, since Gabby works till 10, we're gonna drive to her work and watch fireworks with her at work, because should be starting about the same time. I'll be back once the sun and heat chills out a little bit. Now that our front end's removed, we're going to go ahead and crack the bleeder or the drain port on our radiator. We're going to let out some of our coolant. We're going to go ahead and lift the car up right now, so that way we can start to remove everything from the bottom side of the car. We've got about an hour and a half to work here before we head to fireworks, so we're going to see how much we can get done in that amount of time. We're now up on block. We got our 2 intakes removed, our balance tube as well. We're going to start unhooking our wiring harness, and we'll probably remove the power steering pump. Now that we nearly have everything disconnected from the engine up here in the bay, we're pulling our transmission harness here honestly, now it's off, power steering pump's disconnected. All we have is heater core pipes back here. Other than that, everything in the front, except minus engine mount nuts, is ready. So engine's ready to come out. Now we just need to get down to the bottom side and get the rest of that. I went ahead and committed to the top side before getting down there while the fluid was draining, just so that way we can eliminate to be completely down to the bottom side of the car. So now we can stay down there and try to get her done. So now that we're on the underside of the car, first thing I'm going to remove is our slave cylinder and our starter, both held on with 14 mils, and then same with the test pipes, 14 mil nuts, along with, I think I got 14 or 12 mils down here on the end. But let's pull these off and these two and get some more access here. Well, as you guys may be able to hear in the barn, we have an alarm going off. We managed to get our transmission dropped down. It's literally just ready to pull out. Just got the wiring harness off. Next step tomorrow will be to lift it up, remove the bell housing bolts, yank it off, 2 engine mount nuts, pull the engine out. We're this close to finishing. We're just right there, so we're gonna go ahead to get Gabby from work or see fireworks with her, and we'll be back first thing tomorrow. We're up bright and early today and ready to get started. Sweet, everything's how we left it. Our goal to get out here before the heat starts. Pretty much where we left off last night, we just have to tackle our bell housing bolts and we can wrestle our transmission out. Already got the wiring harness disconnected. It's just being held up by a jack right now. Pretty self-explanatory. I believe we'll have like 6 bolts to take out. Joke's on me. Looks like I really need to remove my engine mount nuts, that way it can relax and flop back a little bit, because now it's just lifting up and staying too much pressure on the input shaft. Sweet, now our transmission's out. Since our engine mount nuts are out now, we just have to pop our heater core hoses off, scoot the car in, get our engine out. That accidentally went a lot quicker than I expected or really anticipated. Am I doing good, supervisor? Oh, we're done. Gonna pull it this time? You gonna pull it? Get to it. Once the drivetrain's out, let's wheel the car back out, find somewhere that we can sit it that's not too far, and let's figure a way of towing this silver one up. Our engine covered up here is about to fire up the shop vac and sweep out of our engine bay all of the accumulated dust and dirt and debris. Definitely a lot here that needs cleaned up. We're going to hit all this kind of with a wire brush and knock it loose so we can hit it with the vacuum and kind of have more of a turnaround on this. We do still need to loosen our steering rack and turn it, so hopefully we can get rid of the binding issue that we're having here. So we've swept both sides out now. We just hit this side with some rust converter to kind of hopefully stop some of these rust spots in their tracks. If not, at least slow them down. Went ahead and resealed the battery tray as well, so that way it's fully coated in rust converter. We hit the little spot down here at the bottom part of the bracket. Other than that, everything's looking pretty good. I'm pretty satisfied with it. So I think we're gonna crack both of these loose so we can try to rotate our rack a little bit, and then we're gonna verify that everything is working order and not kinked. Then we can drop this beast in. So as we were removing this out of our slick top, we happened to notice something that doesn't look correct or is a little bit alarming for me. usually where a mouse will make a house down in the floorboard of your passenger seat. I noticed this ground wire, as you can see there and there, has exposed wire. Copper, and also this black and pink wire here. So I don't suspect that the mouse obviously has chewed through anything. It has chewed the wires, at least like the sheathing, but there's no actual broken wires, and I'm not seeing any corrosion. So if that's the case, all we're going to do is we're going to wrap each of these wires in some electrical tape, and we'll give just a general wrap around this to kind of tighten it up as well. It's kind of annoying. I really hate mice, and especially when they live in my cars and do stuff like this, make more headaches and whatnot for me. But in regards, what better car to put it in than the mouse car? It just works out. This is going to be our next step. We're going to finish wrapping this up. We're going to pull some brackets off of our blue part out car we just got for the engine harness here, and we'll start plugging away at that. I believe after that's done, things are finally starting to come together. It's sick. So the steering rack has still been beating us up. What I just did is I used the jack right here, and I lifted it up by the U-joint, and I loosened all these brackets up. Side's still loose, but this side I took off completely so I could line these up where the indentation is to make it even. Tighten it down while it was still on the jack, so hopefully we can relieve some of the pressure from it binding. Now that the rack is all tightened down, or the rack mounts, we have got us a fully functioning steering wheel. I'm super stoked about that. Now we can move on and get the engine dropped in this bad boy. Psych, I just remembered we got to put the wiring harness in it first. So let's get our electrical tape and repair that harness where the mouse chewed. We'll snake it in, swap our brackets over, then we'll drop the motor in. Now our wiring harness is in, secured, bolted up. We went ahead, installed this plate, and replaced these fuel lines. So that'll be one less headache that we may potentially have to worry about. Dog just chased a cat away. Can't tell, it's a little warm out here. I think I'm about to go for a cruise, dry off, and see about getting back here and dropping this motor in. Not to mention I had like a migraine for a little bit, and it's just not doing me right. The hat doesn't help, and yeah, neither does the heat. I think our passenger side's on now. Everything looks good. Well, we're actually done, and the engine is finally in the car. This is a very surreal moment for me, because in the 2 years or so that I've had this car, I've never had an engine in the car. And today, it's official. We have got a drivetrain installed. Yes, I got this ratchet strap just to keep it kind of forward, so that way we don't crush everything on the back side like the wiring harness. Well, if you recall, yesterday I said that we were going to get in to finishing this out. However, I've decided against that. It was brought to my attention that we still need to work on our brakes. We're actually missing 2 calipers. So there's no chance of getting this thing running this video. So we're just gonna throw in the towel here. We just took a 8-hour trip there and back pretty much to Cleveland, Ohio to grab some 5-speed swap parts for a buddy, and I'm pretty beat. I sweat quite a bit on that trip, and I feel like I've done a lot for someone who's just sat in a seat for 8-9 hours. Next video, you can count on us getting our trans in and starting to get everything else buttoned up. We just ran out of time here for this video. With that being said, you guys, hope you guys liked the video. If you did, don't forget to drop a like, comment, subscribe down below, and stay tuned for our next one, and we'll catch you then. Peace. Say bye.